What really caused the split between Liam Hemsworth and Miley Cyrus? The split between Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth, a high-profile couple whose relationship spanned nearly a decade, was the culmination of various intertwined factors that ultimately led to their separation. Initially ignited by their passionate romance during the filming of Asterisk, the last song Asterisk, their relationship faced significant challenges as both individuals evolved over time. While they shared a deep connection, stark differences in their lifestyles, personal growth, and emotional needs became increasingly apparent. The pressures of public scrutiny, personal struggles with substance use, and the impact of traumatic events further complicated their bond. Ultimately, as both Miley and Liam underwent profound transformations, they found themselves growing apart, leading to a painful yet necessary decision to end their marriage. Number 6. Different lifestyles and personalities. And further key component that has been alluded to in interviews is Miley Cyrus's substance use, which she has publicly discussed in relation to her own personal experience. Following the end of her relationship with Liam Hemsworth, Miley Cyrus opened up about her decision to commit to sobriety and how it quickly became an essential component of her personal development. She disclosed that during the course of their relationship, both she and Liam suffered with alcohol and other substances, which gave an additional layer of complexity and hardship to their marriage. These difficulties brought up extra difficulties in their relationship, which made it difficult for them to keep a healthy dynamic despite the difficulties they faced. At the same time that Miley was working on her sobriety and concentrating on her own personal development, the disparities in the ways in which they each tackled these challenges became more apparent. The fact that they were unable to work through these challenges together most likely contributed to the further deterioration of their relationship, which ultimately led to the dissolution of their marriage. It was more difficult for them to have a reconciliation and go forward as a marriage because of the tension that was associated with substance use, as well as the fact that they had different perspectives on life and personal development. Number 5. Pressure from the media and public scrutiny. Both Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth encountered significant pressure from the public and media throughout their relationship, which was often under a relentless spotlight. Their on-again, off-again dynamic was a favorite topic for tabloids, leading to an almost constant scrutiny of their personal lives. This pervasive media attention amplified the challenges they faced, making it difficult for them to navigate their relationship privately. Every breakup and reconciliation was dissected by the press, and the expectations of fans and critics alike added to the stress they experienced. The weight of public opinion may have hindered their ability to address their private issues effectively, as external perceptions could cloud their judgment and complicate their interactions. Instead of having the space to grow and heal, they were often forced to respond to the narrative being shaped by the media, which likely contributed to the difficulties they faced in maintaining a healthy relationship. This environment of scrutiny could exacerbate existing tensions, making it harder for them to find common ground and work through their problems together. Number 4. Miley's changing identity. Throughout their decade-long romance, Miley Cyrus underwent profound changes in both her career and personal identity, evolving significantly from her days as a Disney Channel star to a more experimental musician with a provocative public image. This transformation involved exploring new artistic avenues and shedding her previous persona, which allowed her to express herself in ways that were often bold and unconventional. However, these changes were compounded by traumatic events, particularly the 2018 Malibu fires that destroyed her home. In the aftermath, Miley found herself questioning her life choices and grappling with her sense of self. In interviews, she revealed that her decision to marry Liam was partly a reaction to the upheaval caused by the fires. In a moment of vulnerability and seeking stability, she felt compelled to take that step. However, she later recognized that she was not emotionally prepared for marriage, as she was still processing her trauma. Miley has since articulated how the combination of this trauma and the pressure to make their relationship work ultimately contributed to its breakdown. She reflected on how both she and Liam had changed so much over the years that they no longer recognized the individuals they had become, underscoring the emotional distance that had developed between them as they struggled to align their evolving identities and needs within their relationship. Number 3. Infidelity and rumors. Following their split in 2019, rumors of infidelity began to circulate, prompting speculation about the reasons behind the end of Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth's marriage. However, both Miley and Liam have publicly denied these cheating allegations. Miley took to social media to clarify that the dissolution of their marriage was not the result of infidelity, but rather stemmed from their individual growth and the realization that their paths had diverged in ways that made them incompatible. She emphasized her commitment to honesty, stating, "I can admit to a lot of things, but I refuse to admit that my marriage ended because of cheating." This assertion highlights her understanding of the complexities of their relationship, asserting that their split was rooted in deeper issues related to personal development and changing life goals rather than betrayal. Miley's candidness about the situation reflects her desire to take responsibility for her own journey, while also dismissing the notion that infidelity played a role in their breakup. This distinction allowed her to frame the end of their marriage as a natural progression of two individuals growing apart rather than a dramatic narrative centered on deceit. Number 2. Substance use issues. Another key component that has been alluded to in interviews is Miley Cyrus's substance use, which she has publicly discussed in relation to her own personal experience. Following the end of her relationship with Liam Hemsworth, Miley Cyrus opened up about her decision to commit to sobriety and how it quickly became an essential component of her personal development. She disclosed that during the course of their relationship, both she and Liam suffered with alcohol and other substances, which gave an additional layer of complexity and hardship to their marriage. These difficulties brought up extra difficulties in their relationship, which made it difficult for them to keep a healthy dynamic despite the difficulties they faced. At the same time that Miley was working on her sobriety and concentrating on her own personal development, the disparities in the ways in which they each tackled these challenges became more apparent. The fact that they were unable to work through these challenges together most likely contributed to the further deterioration of their relationship, which ultimately led to the dissolution of their marriage. It was more difficult for them to have a reconciliation and go forward as a marriage because of the tension that was associated with substance use, as well as the fact that they had different perspectives on life and personal development. Number 1. Timing and emotional baggage. When Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth were working together on the production of the last song in 2009, they had the opportunity to interact with one another. During that time period, both of them were still in the process of evolving into their own unique selves. Their relationship, which lasted for almost a decade and involved a number of breakups and reconciliations, encompassed time periods that were significant for both of them in terms of their personal growth. During this time, they went through a number of breakups and reconciliations. They began to change in a variety of ways over the course of time as they navigated the constantly shifting landscapes of their personal lives and professional lives, which ultimately led to fundamental differences in the values they held and the manner in which they lived their lives. It is possible that the thing that kept them together for such a tremendous amount of time was an attachment to the idealized version of each other that they had formed during the early stages of their romantic relationship. It became plainly clear, however, that they were no longer the same people who had initially fallen in love with these individuals. This realization came about as they grew older. They eventually went their own ways due to the fact that they had become so dissimilar to one another, in addition to the challenges that resulted from attempting to maintain a relationship while going through such a significant phase of personal development. Thanks for watching and subscribing channel.